Hello, everybody.
Hello.
I'm Sid Curry.
I'm Saundra Curry.
All right, this is BCH Amen Corner. And we've got a little bit to talk to you about because they're talking about lowering interest rates soon. And it's like all these airplanes lined up on the runway. People are ready to get into a house because we've always heard with the American dream that the house is the best long-term investment that one can make. How real is that, Saundra?
Well, we're going to really show you the numbers. It's all about the numbers. And he's right. Sidney is right. Everybody thinks, I get married, I buy a house, we have the kids, etc. And buying that house is going to help us build wealth over time. And then we're going to retire. We're going to use the house as income during retirement and yada, yada, yada. Well, we're here to show you the numbers. And to answer the question, is a house really the best investment you can make?
The only way you can determine that is that you have to do the math.
Yeah.
And if you don't have the math, then you don't have the path. And that's how it works, right? So we gotta focus on the numbers. Whenever you're talking about building wealth, whenever you're talking about net worth, whenever you're talking about how to achieve, as you've heard us say, your North Star, you gotta do the numbers. So y'all, we brought the board today. We have the board today.
So these numbers that we're gonna go over really quickly are just national averages. You all are living all over the United States, maybe outside of the United States.
Right.
Just use the format and the procedure that we go through to apply it to wherever you live.
Right.
But these are national averages.
So don't beat us up, okay? Because you're going to say, oh, well, my insurance is not that high. Well, you're in California, it's different, right? If you're in Florida, it's different. If you're in Iowa or Alabama, the numbers are going to be different. But you're going to get the point and apply it. Make it relative to you. Let's get into it.
Okay, so we're going to go over these numbers, and you have it in front of you, and we're just going to walk slowly through them. So say that you want to buy a house, and the average home price is $235,500. So you want to buy this house. You've saved 20%, right? Because you don't want to pay PMI. And
what does that mean?
That means premium mortgage insurance.
Yep.
You won't have to pay that. That's going to add to this payment about $250 more a month. So you won't have to pay that. So you've saved $47,100. So you can put down 20%. So you're ready to go because you have saved all this money, you have rented all this time, you've watched every penny, you've gotten a little money from grandparents, maybe parents to buy this house because everybody is like, you need to buy a house, you need to buy a house. So this is where you are. You're ready to do it. Okay. And the premise behind if a house does build wealth is that you buy it here, $235,500, and then in 30 years, we're going to use 30 years because most mortgages are 30 years.
Right.
It's going to grow or double in this case to $471,000. So you're thinking, wow, I bought it for $235,500. It's going to be worth $471,000. I have done a good job. This is what it means to
and you're high-fiving, telling all your co-workers, I bought it for $235,500, and now it's $471,000. Or it could have tripled. It could have tripled. Okay?
Yes.
But why don't we do the math? You can't do that. You cannot go from here to here and forget about it. Is the house the best long-term investment you can make? Let's do the math.
So to get your true ROI or your return on your investment, you have to just not look here, like Sidney said, bam, bam. You have to look at all of the money that you've had to spend over the 30-year period so the house can be worth $471,000. Because if you bought the house, you went away, and you came back 30 years, what condition would the house be in?
Oh, it's going to be bad.
Right.
It's not going to be worth that.
No.
What's that word? Dilapidated?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
yeah. Oh, yeah. So you got to do some stuff along that 30 years to make it worth this. What do we have to do?
So HOA average, remember these are averages, $54,000 over a 30-year period.
Yep.
Right. Long work, $36,000.
Yep, that mulch.
Utilities, $115,000. That's about $325, $350 a month.
Yep.
$32,400 insurance. You gotta have insurance.
Yep.
Maintenance and repairs, $68,000.
For sure.
Upgrades, $60,000. Because look, HGTV told you you need the granite countertops. You need the stainless steel.
Yeah.
You need the hardwood floors.
You mean you still have carpet?
Oh, no.
Oh, they be saying that, y'all. What you mean? Yeah, I still have carpet. I sure do. I do.
So you add all this up, and that's $365,000.
In other words,
right?
You spent this.
And all this came out of your pocket.
Every month.
Your pocket.
You spent this right here. So you can't just wipe that out and say, I did this, now it's worth this. You got to add that. But we ain't done with the numbers.
Yeah, so you have to come over here now. Your house is $471,000. Now you have to subtract everything that you had to put in that house for it to be worth this.
So we're going to bring that right here and pull
here.
that right up here.
And the house wasn't free, right?
Nope.
So you had to pay for the house. So that's a negative $235.
Got to subtract the house costs.
Closing costs.
Yep.
You can't buy the house for free with that closing cost.
That's right.
So $88,243.
Mhm.
Now that is just taking this, that, and the closing costs away from what your equity is. It's a negative $138,500.
There's a reason we chose to use red.
Yeah, so we have to keep going though. So $135,000 we have to subtract because that is interest you're going to pay on that mortgage.
The cost of money, y'all.
It's a 4%, and it's a lot higher today, right? And then $51,000 for property taxes. If you don't pay your property taxes, guess what? They come and take your house, right? So all of this adds up, and there are other things, but all this adds up to $324,905. Now the question is, you know, this right here. Most people don't think about it. They don't think about all of the money that they have to expend during that 30-year period. They're just looking here and here. And that's behind, that's the answer behind the question, is it really a way to build wealth, buying a house? But there are other ways to look at it, right? So you have $47,100. That's what you have.
Well, before you get into that, I got to say this, just to make it plain. It's like our business, right? We made a certain amount of money. We got the top line, we got the bottom line, okay? If we made gross sales and this, and our net profits are this, there's a reason we say that. What did we spend in order to achieve the net profits? We had to pay employees, we had to pay insurance, we had to pay lease on the building, supplies, we had to pay all that stuff, right? And we've got to subtract all those expenses from our top line in order to get to our bottom line. Otherwise, it makes no sense. And most people totally forget all the stuff they had to pay over those 30 years. You cannot wipe that out. So when they tell you this is the best long-term investment you can make, you got to do the math.
Because you're at a negative $324,905. And again, this is just an example at national averages, but do the numbers yourself.
And we're not house haters, okay? No. We're financial educators.
But what we are here to say is that, you know, are there other ways to invest to build wealth?
If the goal is to build wealth, a house is just a place to live, right? I want to move you away from saying the house is an investment. Show me where the investment is.
So what's another investment option? That's what you have to ask yourself if you're doing this to build wealth. Are there other options out there?
Beyond a place to live.
Right.
Okay? A house is a home of love. Beyond a place to live. What else can we do?
Yeah, okay. So you can take the $47,000 and you can invest that over the 30-year period, just like with the house.
Okay.
And earn an average of 10%. That's not every year over the 30 years, but an average annual return of 10%. You can get that with the S&P 500. Look it up, you can get it. What would you have in 30 years?
If you just took the 47.1.
So you would have $821,867.
That's real, y'all.
So the question is, do you want to have this in 30 years?
She's doing the Vanna White.
Thinking this is an investment, or would you rather have the 821, 867?
Right. You gotta say, well, I gotta live somewhere. Well, look, we only took the down payment. You still have your other money. Here's the point, y'all. We gotta talk about real estate to keep y'all from making a real mistake. A house is just a place to live.
Okay. That's the message today from BC Holdings and the Amen Corner. We'll see you guys soon.
More soon.
Bye-bye.
Okay. That do it?